I was actually just telling McKinley about this, that we can have the After Hours segment on his Worldwide Glovers YouTube channel. So that way it's actually like, kind of representative like what people do on Discord. It's just like hang out and actually talk gloving theory and things like that.
Yeah, for sure.
So I don't know what Josh wants to do with this information, but I do feel like this is more so either confidential or like under wraps for a little bit. Because it's a work in progress.
Right. So just to give you guys a kind of setup, for a couple of years I've been brainstorming this idea of like a post-gloving culture, and I call it teching. Tekking. Teching. And teching, I've been writing a manifesto for it for a couple of years. I'm kind of toying with it. In fact, one of my big goals by the end of the year is to get a significant portion of it finished, because a lot of it is just notes all over the place. And I have 4 pages of it actually written, but I need to actually get those notes and compile it into like the actual manifesto, which I plan to have it somewhere between 30 to 50 pages. But we'll see if it actually gets that long. Because okay, the way that I see it, the information that people really need are the first 10, and the next 20 to 40 are just elaborations, right? So basically, the idea of teching is that that is like the concept of teching.
The WWE of gloving.
Right.
The JoJo stands of gloving.
Right.
You know how I was saying before, basically, so traditional gloving, you're on your knees, you're whether at a show or at home, that's like the thing. Person on the ground, you're on your knees, that was that show. Then it slowly evolved. Now you got people up in a chair, or now it's like, okay, am I gonna throw a show at home or to a camera, or am I throwing a show at a festival? Then it's competitive light show versus a traditional light show in the sense of purpose. And then we add in project video, VR, and now that's what you're talking about is something I try to strive to do in my livelihood, but in the sense of I want to live with flow. But that's like, okay, now it's like you're encapsulating that into a character for a performance. Like, okay, like I'm gonna straight up get in full samurai with however. That's what I've been structuring as I've been thinking about learning all the different flow arts. Is how would I practically wear all of them? How could I actually do it? Like if I were at a show, how would I wear it? What would I be? And that's the conclusion I came to, is I'd have to at first start with different kinds of characters and whatever they would naturally wear, and slowly figure out how to build a character that would have everything, or be able to, or just have different styles of them, or etc. So I'm like, that's very, I like that.
You gotta consider, have you ever seen Deadliest Warrior?
Guns just don't do the job, people do the job.
On Spike.
Right.
So they would always display each each thing's inventory, and like Shaolin Monk I think would fit what you're looking for, because staff, and you don't even have to overload yourself with all your flow gear. You could have 3 things and still be well equipped to fight. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
You could have a flow staff, you could have your poi, and you have your gloves, and it's all easily accessible, and you'll still be able to showcase each thing, meanwhile maintaining each flow art separately and displaying them separately, but within one character still.
Trying to build a magician though, or like it kind of just, how do you have that?
Well, you see that. I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm saying it requires a lot of forethought and pre-planning in order to create your character of a magician.
Exactly.
Well, see that's where I think another question that's actually going to come up for the actual group podcast is the discussion about free flow, freestyle versus choreography, because that's a very, very long-standing argument and discourse within the gloving communities. Which one should you be doing? Why people think freestyle is way better because it's actually the true spirit of the art form, and choreography is just like there's no emotion to it, which I completely find that a bunch of crud, because if they don't watch shows like So You Think You Could Dance, Dancing with the Stars, America's Best Dance Crew, what was the other one? World of Dance, another great example. People make choreography pieces that have this beautiful tragic story portrayed through, and if the dancers aren't actually embodying like certain emotions to relate to the piece that they're working with, they're not going to be able to sell what they're trying to create, essentially. And that's one of the things that I feel like is always a discourse within gloving, because people sit there and it's like, you're not supposed to make that. It's like, no, that's restricting yourself and trying to understand where gloving can go, and it can go in so many different directions. Just like how it taken this evolution spin-off, I don't even want to call it that, but that's the best way I can think of. But creating its own subculture into teching as you're trying to kind of bring that into a reality, you know.
This talking about the structure versus unstructured light shows is definitely something that we can talk about when we talk about the gloving meta, which is something that we can easily talk about next time.
Oh, yeah.
You got
gloving
moves too that go into that category.
Yeah. The gloving meta.
The other thing is, well, when it, like, I will also point out is people getting a better understanding of different gloving styles and how to actually judge about those styles in the context of what the style is trying to accomplish. You know, that's like another huge discussion, especially in pit battles, is when you have a non-impactor going against an impactor. How do you compare the two light shows when they're two completely different styles? That's not the case.
Yeah, tell me about it, Peter.
I will say here now, when it comes to me seeing an impactor versus non-impactor, I separate the two videos. I talk within the context of impacting, and then just judge the person's show that isn't on impacting. Just be like, okay, I see what he compiles together into, you know, their personal take on whatever style that they're trying to go for. You know, are they more technical? Are they more flow based? Are they more expressionary? Because like me and McKinley, whose show was it? It was one that was up against Tuna. We were talking about how you can tell through his show he's expressing himself. It was an expressive show, not this very technical, structured show type deal where it was just pure expression. You know,
it's a light show, not a light demonstration, bro. That's like my favorite thing to say right now. Like light shows versus light demonstrations.
Yeah, like to me, I will certainly say, like, if you watch my light shows, I feel like that's me like actually doing a performance. And then if you watch any of my fingers/glove shows that I post on Instagram or Facebook, that's actually me just kind of letting whatever comes to mind happen. You know, there's a much different take that's happening from at least what I can tell. There are times where it's like my musicality, especially on my finger shows, are just like super on point. And then you see some of my light shows and it's like not following musicality per se, but it is using the blocking structures of what the song does to actually like evolve from one point to another. You know,
I guess that introduces the third form of presentation for light shows / finger shows, and that is expression. You have demonstration, which is different from expression, which is different from a show.
And there's also intention though too.
Performance.
Yeah,
that's the
difference.
Like, what if that's the purpose? Like, you're trying to be robotic, you know?
Yeah. Well, like that's where the difference between those three things is. Man, this is something. Well, good thing Peter's recording, but this is something that we should talk about next time for real.
Peter, I'm telling you, like, you should break these up into like
shorts.
Even if, right.
Well, yeah, but like I said, this particular form of content will be on WWG's YouTube channel. So to me, it's like a contribution to not only where
that's classified.
Yeah, I can. I actually had a plan how to cut that out too, so don't worry about that.
A Rick and Morty reference right here. Rick and Morty reference right here.
Oh shit, we got tiny people. Little bits.
Or even right here.
Or McKinley, maybe. He'll cue the next one. McKinley will cue the next one. He'll be like, I don't know, I'm Pickle Rick.
Actually, no, that actually brings up a good point for future episodes, is where one of us can actually start out, and it's not always me starting out like the introduction thing. Like, yeah, I'm very used to it. I've been doing this for 3 years now, that I can actually be like, hello everybody, how's it going? You know, but
oh no, I think the meme would just be having Josh be like, hello everybody, my name's Peter.
So everyone literally copies my introduction and just says it in iteration. Okay.
Right. I'll be like, hello everyone, welcome to the Gloving Paradigm. Today we have a very juicy episode.
Okay. No, that's something that actually I wanted to bring up that I didn't think about, because I just watched a episode of Trash Taste very recently, and they always switch up who starts the show, like who's hosting the show type deal. So it's like,
but I feel
one
like
day it's Connor. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, like, I feel like with Trash Taste though, like those three are already so comfortable on their own that like there is like,
okay, yeah.
For them it is natural to have like an equal distribution of that podcast. You know what I mean? I don't feel like any one of those guys owns that podcast. You know what I mean? Because they all have like their own like communities already. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I see your point though. I do like that idea. If that's something you're interested in, like having us like own the table talks, like almost like somewhat more like distributed in terms of hostage, like I'm kind of cool with that.
I definitely like that, because it shows that this isn't like I'm the main, I'm the big host and I have the three extra people. It's like, no, we are each equally contributing to this in our own way. And I like that, because they naturally came up with like joke introductions, like, hello everybody, I'm the boy, and here with me are the other boys. Like that, I love that opening, because it's funny, and they've been doing it for a good while now, and it's just like, if you know the joke, it's still really funny, and I like having something like that naturally happen. But yeah, no, I like the idea of actually having it be more of like an equal type deal, and it's not just I'm running the show every single time, because that's not the idea I'm trying to give off with this idea that we've cultivated together, because this was a group effort. So
no, I like that. Yeah, I'd be down for it. I can do a couple of openings that may or may not involve a certain word.
Juice. The Steam Boy got the juice.
I'm definitely going to make sure I go through the... By the way, McKinley, you'll actually get the pre-pilot episode for your YouTube channel for WWG, so that way at least it's there. It's like special content if they want to find it over there. And I think for the next episode, I'll make sure to write down
the
shout out
we recorded last time.
Yeah, I'm calling that the pre-pilot.
The pilot to the pilot.
Or what is it? The writers' table, like where the writing staff sit there and they talk about the episode that they're gonna make, and then they write it all out, or something like that.
Yeah, the discussion. The director's board. I don't know.
Yeah, it's not
the Council of Elders.
Oh
yeah. like I said, if anything, I was pretty impressed with how like streamlined it went today, for sure.
I think it's because we thought about, hey, you made a really good point that we can actually segue into another point and show that interconnectivity. So I think we were able to take cues from each other of when we should shift, or having that feeling like, hey, you brought this up, maybe we should start talking about this now since we are now there. So yeah, no, I was very impressed that we were able to kind of like work, bounce off of each other in that fashion, which also makes me really, really excited for the first episode to go out. So
yeah, what do you think that will be?
That will be the first episode of the year. Like whatever that
way to kick things off.
Yeah, whatever the first Monday of January is, the 3rd.
Gang.
Gang.
Juicy gang.
The other thing is, well, I definitely want to make sure I try to push myself about getting interviews set up. 30K is one, because I want to have a perspective of somebody who competed and made their way all the way up to the top to win a online tournament. You know, I definitely have an idea for Jess.
I like that.
Cool too.
Yeah, I definitely have an idea for Jess to actually do an episode takeover where it's actually a video that he makes and like we compile together and actually like he performs it and actually is like.
Have you already talked to Josh about that?
Not exactly, but I did post one time ago, but like who if a Glover would take over my channel for an episode, who would you want? And he went hello, and actually like personally messaged me. And my idea that I was thinking of him to do as an episode takeover is a concept catalog for clusters.
God, I hope that he does. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Gloving Paradigm. My name is Peter. Like,
Also known as Papa Bara.
also known as Papa Bara.
I think I'm gonna have to change. I'm gonna have to change it to that now because, like, just like how 30K changes it, I think I gotta change my nickname to that now.
Papa Bara.
Yep.
Or Rave Climber.
But yeah. God
God.
damn. Pilot episode done. So we can probably. So we left off on basically discuss. Like we kind of hinted at talking about business of gloving, but we were also kind of talking about in general, like state of gloving affairs. So it's like next time we record, would we rather keep on talking about state of gloving? Because I feel like transitioning from say because we could do a whole entire episode of the gloving meta, right?
Oh yeah.
That could easily transition into talking about micro versus macro concepts, tech versus flow. Like it segues into all those other things. Whereas state of gloving content and business of gloving, I feel like are closer related.
To like gloving economy.
Yeah, because those are kind of like supplementary things to the gloving community, if that makes sense. Like the economy it's like related to gloving, but it's not gloving, right?
Yeah.
Gloving content is related to gloving, but it's not gloving, but like less so. It's still like, who is this? Someone's in private oh, Joe wanted to come in here, so he's in Girls Who Flow.
Yeah, Danny messaged me too. I was like, no.
Sorry, not today, boys.
I mean, I'm okay with dragging Joe in here, so I can just be like, put me on Inky Boys, and then you can drag him back out.
So call it. Next time we can hop in the recording studio.
Yeah.
I would be okay with having certain people just muted.
Yeah, because like you can have like live audience type situation.
Right. I mean, Peter, that's something we could definitely do with OBS, maybe.
Live stream. Yeah, live stream it to YouTube.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
I thought about that as well.
Yeah, like I can see us being like, you know how old school like radio will be like, we got a caller on the air, we can just bring in someone for a split second. It's like, all right, you're on.
Yeah,
Tell us your
and
thoughts.
then Danny would come in here and be like, "Hey, yo, bing bong," and then leave. Hey, yo, take me to the White House, baby. This is how we do Thanksgiving on Coney Island. Chopped cheese in Arizona, you heard?
I brought this up with Dustin, but I honestly think this would actually be a really, really fun idea. It's also because I've been seeing this trend on the artists' Instagram that I follow. Not so much from Japan, but more like over here in Europe. Is the art versus the artists, and it's like the artist picture in the center, and it has like 8 different pieces that they've made. So it's like showing them compared to what their art looks like. But I also brought up what's known as a 3x3 that has been like kind of like an online trend thing in the past. And I was thinking we can do a 3x3 of like which light show videos were like very influential or we feel.
Scotty's dick flow video, all 9 of them.
Oh god.
Scotty's dick flow video for 8 of them. Josh's dick micro light video.
Honestly, dude, seriously, like that to me, it's like the gloving content episode all on its own. It's just gonna be talking about Scotty's pit
Dude,
and
Scotty's
Ass
fucking.
video.
That man's a national treasure.
Oh, dude, he must be protected at all costs.
He must be protected at all costs.
Just like Fabian. Fabian needs to be protected at all costs.
I swear to God, Scotty's gonna be one of the people that's gonna be like our first guest on the show.
I hope so.
How does it feel to have like one of the first gloving videos on Pornhub?
Yes.
Exactly right.
I think on that note though, I'm gonna go.
Yeah, I got stuff going on.
Alright,
Yeah.
yeah.
But this was a good session, guys.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like I said, I think it went way better than I could have ever dreamt it to. I didn't
Right,
think
right.
it would go bad or anything. It just went a lot better than what my expectations were.
Right.
Yeah, I'm actually really excited for the next one. Like, I'm super motivated to record again and
And it's
get
like
it
this
out.
kind of thing we can pre-plan. Like, so you said you wanted to release this episode the 3rd or whatever, the first Monday of January.
Yeah.
We could have the second episode, so episode 2, recorded before then, even.
Oh yeah, like we
If
can
we have
actually
time
back.
for it.
Yeah,
Like,
we
you
can
have
actually like
back-
backlog it. Like if we actually have like a couple weeks where it's like, oh yeah, we're gonna hit this episode, and this episode, and it's
I
like
think
released once a month consistently.
I think in terms of backlogging, that's going to be a lot more viable once December is over.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, for sure.
definitely.
Like we only have like 1 or 2 more weeks left in December before everyone like is unavailable.
Right.
So if we wanted to record something prior to that first Monday of January, we would have to pick between next week or the week after. Or not even the week after, because basically next week. We would just have to see if anyone can do anything next week.
I might be busy next week.
Me
Friday.
and Jason are planning on doing a Christmas party that weekend, so I might be able to get a recording in on Friday. I will definitely keep you guys posted. on
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, I'll let you guys know, but I might be busy next week. I got a lot
yeah,
of stuff
regardless,
going on.
like, just ideas. And even if so, like, we're still trying to do this once a month.
Right.
Yeah, at least
So
get a
it's
recording in once a month.
Hyper doable.
Oh yeah.
But yeah,
Not only that, it kind of like gives you guys a little time to, if it's like a topic matter that you're not very familiar on, you can actually do some research on your own. Because one of the things I also want to talk about is like public reception of gloving in the past. Like the Vice article, there was a Vice video that they did. A couple other like articles that came out that talked about like Brian Lim and his how he made a bunch of money in a very short period of time. I don't remember what it was. It was like 8.3 million or something like that in a matter of like a year. Something I don't quite remember.
It has an update. I just made a new role. Well, really, I just changed and removed the whole. So you know how I had the content creator role?
Yeah.
content collaborator.
Now it's content collaborator, and it's only for the people who are making content like this in here.
Yeah.
So,
Like that.
there now, if you want that, you gotta like, all right, now let's try to do something, and then now you know the purpose of the stuff,
I
etc.
have so many roles now.
Yay! Roles for everybody.
More structure. Okay.
I
I was
think
like, gave me ideas.
I'm still waiting for my ISO role.
It is a role.
I see it. Peter has it too.
That's because I'm being prospected.
I
Which
want-
that actually should be another episode in itself, is team prospecting and stuff like that.
Oh, well,
that
Just
might
for a
be-
future episode.
I think that could be even part of a bigger episode where we just talk about like the culture of teams, honestly.
Yeah.
like more general aspect of it. We can
Right,
talk
right.
about why TLNT I think is a cult. And I've told Folly this. I was like, dude, you're basically the Manson family.
How do you respond to that?
He said, "You're probably right."
Oh my god.
Drink the Kool-Aid, my turtles. It's so funny because he was like, yeah, if you want on TLNT, you just have to ask Ryan Hong. and Ryan was like, you know that I'm the captain of TLNT, right? I was like, yeah, okay.
Ryan Hong is actually like the captain, or
He's-
like
it's-
of like our area.
That's what he said, yeah.
I didn't know that.
And he was like, so you want on? And I was like, nah, I'm good. And he was like, okay, you want a tabletop? I was like, no. I don't want... My brother would love to. I don't like it because I get too lost. I
can understand that.
The only person that I could probably reasonably tabletop with or throw doubles with is Jason.
The funny thing is, to me, tabletopping feels like a game of Twister. Just somewhere eventually your guys are gonna be all tangled up and be like, fuck, how do we get out of this?
I don't know. I just felt violated the one time where I went from here to here and then I did this and then Cody fucking put his fingers into the holes and I was like, alright, we're done here.
You didn't learn to do that? Oh, okay.
Well, no. Like the fact that like it was a test. I was like, okay, here's a dick and balls. What are you gonna do? And he went, boop.
If he was smart, he would have learned how to actually like curl his finger and actually make you open your hands to like go like that, and then something. I don't know. That's just me.
Table also tape that. Yeah, Josh, you've seen that I've been doing more research, and every time I see something that's relevant to what we talked about, I'll tag you in it or I'll send it to you.
Right.
That I think that's gloving too. Teching is the introduction to like gloving's like cousin.
Right. So I remember I said this to you, but Peter McKinley, one thing I did say about teching is that in a lot of ways humanity is already teching. Like my biggest example would be something like Cirque du Soleil.
Yeah.
If you think about it, they are taking all three of those tenets already and doing their thing, right? It's just like you could even argue
teching
right,
is like cross art.
You could even consider stuff like what Kinjas do with their media projects to be teching in a lot of ways, because they might not use props inherently, but they use technology in other ways. Like, but I think that for teching, it's going to be a little bit more specific on the props, because even wearing gloves where even if it's like one thing that I've noticed on Etsy is that people are selling these gloves that use fiber wire, right? So they just light up over here. And I can still see people who like focus more on like bigger movements and less on like the fingers.
Yeah.
Still having a place
Macro
using stuff like that.
movements
Right.
versus micro movements.
Right.
Yeah. Well, and see, to me, I've always thought about like how do we incorporate more lights on points of the body. Like that's one of the things I always thought about when it comes to like king tutting is like since there's other points that you can actually hit and actually show.
Hear me out. Inova on the forehead, right?
Okay.
To your forehead, right? And I've showed everyone here the Inova in the mouth. Like I think that's genius. It's genius, but I don't know how to impact, so I can't do my combos and then spit out a fucking Inova. I can't.
Talk to Scotty. He'll help you. If he can get it in his butt, he can get it in your mouth.
Scotty's in the chat too. Scotty's in the chat. That's basically like the burr, but for trolls.
Gotcha.
For trolls, I see.
No, Scotty fits in right there.
Oh yeah, he literally put an Inova in his butt like twice. He put the Inova in his butt twice.
I remember we were talking about it too, and someone asked like, "Yo, did it taste like?" I was like, "Oh, it most definitely tasted like something."
No, yeah. Fabian was like, "So what did it taste like?" Or Chris
right.
What did it taste like? He's like, "It tastes like butt." What do you mean?
I still can't believe that actually happened, and I remember it like spilling into Geo and be like, "I'm so glad about something and not being in pit battles and stuff like that." I'm like, "Oh my god, you guys need to calm down."
Peter,
Someone was like, "Thank God for moderation."
If Scott was less stable, I'm pretty sure he would have had like that Heart of Darkness moment in Community that the Dean had. He would be like, "Why am I putting lights in my butt?" Ah! And he's like fully naked in his room and is like, "I don't know what loving is anymore."
And I'm sorry what I've done to the ice cream machine. Please, no one eat out of it until you clean the nozzles. The janitor knows how.
I'm horrible. I'm horrible.
And then I can actually see it where he's showing it on the computer, and we're all like just sitting around the computer, just being like.
Well, like Scott is definitely the embodiment of like chaotic neutral with a hint with a hint of curiosity, right? With a hint of curiosity in whatever way that you choose to interpret that, because he will straight up like do whatever. This man covered his fucking $300-$400 glove set in peanut butter and jelly.
That was $300.
I would say that the chips that he had was probably $300 to $400.
Which ones did he have?
I can't remember exactly.
I was gonna say, what were they? Drop twos from Liquid Emotions? Holy crap!
They were the modded. I mean, like, they were modded lights that he got from Cat. So.
Okay.
That man's a national treasure.
Yeah, dude, protect
that dude has sacrificed for this art like no one else.
I mean, I think it's actually kind of crazy how we haven't gotten programmable lights in that fashion. Not saying that like he takes a programmable light and mods it with like a ditto light or whatever, but I mean like actually intentionally building a light that has that kind of light secondary for that added texture.
I've asked
Peter.
He doesn't know how it works. I think.
Peter, you're gonna want to wait. I can't say much because I said I wouldn't, but people are working on shit. It's fucking wild.
Yeah, I think that to me comes down to that whole gloving technology episode where where we talk about like where we can push the lights to go.
Right. All right, guys, I'm a dip.
Yeah, I'm out of here.
Much love. Good first session.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, be good, everyone.
Oh yeah.
Goodbye.
Now it's juicy.